Hi, everyone. This is Khristee Rich. This is Holistic Me TV. I am your host, and this is a brand new show on YouTube. So before I forget, go ahead and click subscribe so that you can watch the full season of amazing guests from all around the world. So this show is all about holistic health and wellness. This show is about women's health and wellness and also about the pregnancy journey. These are my specialties. This is my niche, and this is what I love to talk about. So today I'm very excited to bring on a guest, and she's someone who I actually met in person when I traveled to Peru. So I went to Peru for the first time in 2016, but we actually met in 2019 when I was doing interviews for my book series about holistic childbirth around the world. So again, a little bit about me. I've been a holistic health expert and healer for over 18 years. I love the work that I do. I love to empower women with their health and wellness. I love to help them to overcome chronic conditions, chronic illnesses, and trauma through a holistic perspective. So that means getting to the root cause and then treating it mind, body, and spirit through natural ways and natural remedies. So for this book series coming out, I actually did interview Ariela, and I interviewed her for her talents as being a doula. But today you will hear about her and her talents being a reflexologist. So again, this book series is not quite out yet, so I will definitely let you know when the series is out, but it is again to empower women around the world with their health and wellness, and to understand the root causes of chronic conditions in pregnancy and in postpartum, as well as why complications happen in labor. But without further ado, let's introduce Ariela, who is our guest today. She is currently in Lima, Peru. Again, that's where we met, and I will go ahead and read her bio for you. Ariela Waltzer. Ariela is a holistic therapist whose specialty is reflexology. She studied in Israel, the Greenberg method, 30 years ago, and became a doula in Lima 20 years ago. Currently, she lives and works in Lima, Peru. Okay, welcome, Ariela. How are you today?
Hi, Christy. I'm so happy to be with you today. I'm really good,
Oh,
really
good,
good, really
good.
happy to be with you. Yeah.
Wonderful. Great to have you here. Thank you for being a guest. And so
Hmm.
today I would like to introduce you to the audience. For those who do not know you and the work that you do, what is your story? How did you become a reflexologist?
Well, it's actually the life just took me there on its own. I wanted to be an actress
Oh,
my
you
whole
did?
life.
I didn't know that. We have that in common. That was
I
me
wanted,
too.
I want, I wanted to be an actress, and I studied theater here in Peru for a long time, and I did act in a few shows. And then I decided, I was very young, I was 23, and I decided I wanted to study it abroad. So I had the opportunity to go to Israel because I was born there, and it made sense to me to go there and studied my career there.
Mm.
The only problem was that I didn't speak any Hebrew, so
Oh, that's a little
I,
tricky.
so I confronted the frustration of not being able, to be there and not being able to. I did study for a little bit until I realized, okay, this is I'm doing this backwards. I should be doing something else.
Hmm.
And as a young kid, I was traveling there, and I started feeling like lost and feeling like, what am I doing with my life, and how can I make sense of my life? And I arrived in this therapy. A friend of mine recommended me, well, why don't you go to therapy for a little bit and find out what you really want to do with your life. So, so I arrived to a Greenberg therapist, and it was from day one, it just made sense to me that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to help people to find themselves and to
Wonderful.
make the best of themselves. So it was very casual. I never thought I was going to work into helping people and in service. I was very clear since I was a little girl that I wanted to be an actress, but
Interesting.
I don't know.
Interesting. We have that in
It's
common. Me,
the
it's 5 years old. I wanted to be an actress. I saw myself on the big stage on Broadway.
yes, definitely. Yeah, since I was very little, that was my the image of myself. Then I realized that, doing therapy and helping people, and it's very similar to theater. You just go into, deeply into people's lives. And
Yeah.
that was really the part that I really liked about theater was, learning about the depths of people's souls. It
Yes.
was so it made sense to me very soon, and I
Beautiful.
started going through that path. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well,
And
I did therapy for a little bit, and then I I started learning there, and
and for those who
oh,
are not
well,
familiar,
then,
what is reflexology?
well, reflexology is in the feet. You can see the imbalances in the body, but you can relate those imbalances to the way the person is walking through their lives.
Mm.
The way the actions, the choices you make, everything reflects on your body. So
Mm.
any imbalance you have on your body has a reflection. It is a reflection of how you move, how
Yeah.
you act, how you react. How no?
Yes.
So, see, so that's to me, reflexology is like it's the door. You open a door there. You see the person, you see what the imbalances are in the body, you see what the imbalances are in their lives, and with that tool, I can help you understand how you move with your body, how you create illnesses in your body by repeating yourself again and again and again from the same place.
Mm.
Let's say if when you're angry, or when you are stressed, or when you are in a vulnerable spot, you hold your shoulders up and you stop breathing. Let's
Yes.
say it's an
Yes.
example, no? So then you have really bad tension in your neck or in your shoulders, and the idea is not to, I'm not going to cure you. I'm going to help you to understand how you are creating the situation in your life, so you can take care of letting your shoulders go.
Yes. So empowering the client.
That's,
So you're not doing all the work. You're giving them tools and
no, no,
empowering
no.
them and giving them understanding about their habits and what their health is.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe when I was younger, I thought I did it, right? My ego thought, my therapist ego thought that but the truth is, you cannot do the homework for anybody. You can
No.
only do your homework. You can help other people to do their homework. And it's really, it's a blessed spot where we are, that we can be asked to help them to walk that path.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely. So let's go in a little bit
but
deeper because, again, some of the audience members may not have had a reflexology session. They may not be familiar. They may have
uh-huh,
heard a little bit about it. So I want to go in deeper so they can
yeah.
really understand and have a clear picture. So, one is
Hmm.
reflexology based on Chinese medicine. Are they connected? Are they
Yeah.
related?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. What's different about the reflexology that Greenberg does, that's the method that
Yes.
I learned,
Yes. Describe.
was that the focus is not to heal. You do, at the end, you do heal, but the focus is not to heal, it's to learn about your condition.
Learn.
Because lots of people want you to touch them and to cure them, and they go home, and 6 months later they come back with the same condition, and that's
Right.
because they didn't learn anything about the condition.
Right.
So the main focus of the Greenberg method is to be with the person and to make sure that this person really learns about the condition, the whole universe of the condition. So you look at the feet when you do diagnose. You look at the feet and you see different skin colors, different temperatures, different signs in the feet. And those signs will tell you what the condition, the physical condition is, and how this physical condition relates to the way this person walks, the way this person relates to the different subjects in their lives, economy, sex, the way they relate to their emotions. I mean, you see the whole picture. Okay? So when
And how is this possible?
Mhm.
How do the feet show us so much? How do the feet show us about our health inside our body? How do they show us about our habits? How do they show us so much for us to learn about ourselves?
Well, it is very complex, but I'm going to give you like a little example so you can more or less understand what we look at. Let's say this is the feet. I'm not showing my feet because it would be a bit embarrassing.
It's okay. We can imagine your foot.
Yeah,
that's
let's say
your
this is my this is my foot. Yeah. So the foot it's got 4 elements: earth element, water element, the fire element, and the air element.
So I don't know what you're pointing to because you're pointing to your hand. So what is that on the foot when you say these different elements are there?
This is the heel.
That's the heel is the
Would be
earth.
the
Is that
arch.
correct? The
This
heel
would
and
be
the
the
arch
heel.
is the earth.
Is the earth element.
Okay.
Then the arch would be the water element.
Oh, I'm sorry. The arch is the water.
Then,
okay.
See. Then underneath the fingers, you have, or the toes, you have the fire element, and then the toes would be the air element.
Okay. So we have the 4 elements and they're represented in the foot. Okay.
And each one of these elements contains different parts of the body. Earth element, for example, contains the bones, but the bones in the whole body, but especially whatever happens from the hips down. So you have there the reproductive system, you have the last part of the digestive system, the last part of the urinary system, you have the legs, the knees, the feet, no, everything that happened. And the earth element relates to how you relate to economy, how you relate to sexuality, how you relate to the ability of make projects in the long run, the ability of maintaining your place clean, neat, no? So if you see an imbalance there, let's say a woman that has her periods are not regular. So you start asking her about what's going on in these subjects in her life, because most likely this imbalance in her reproductive system has to do with the way she learned to relate to sex, to economy. Well, you have to
see what it is for her individually. Yes. Questions. Yes.
But yeah, that's basically how we start looking at the imbalances.
But would you also see that on the foot? So you talked about the color and different things that you look for. Would you actually see it on the foot if she has an irregular cycle?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. It's amazing. I mean, of course, after 30 years of working into this, 20 years, no, 30 years now. Fixing all. I see more. Sometimes I don't even have to look at the foods anymore. To tell you the truth, I mean, you start sensing people from different. I mean, to me, it's I do look at the feet because I have to make myself sure that what I'm seeing in the person is what I really think it's going on.
Yes.
It's like
to
to
clarify.
reassure what's.
Yes.
No?
Yes. To double check.
Double check.
And is it the same as with the hands, Ariela? So I know there's also hand reflexology. Is that very different from feet?
It is very different.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is very different. And I don't, it's not my,
Not your
I never
specialty.
got it.
That's
not
fine.
my
Just
specialty.
curious.
Yeah, but yeah.
But yet it's similar. Is it similar such as the organs are shown in the foot, in the feet, just like in the hands, you have all the organs represented, all the different parts of the body represented? That's the same? Okay.
Actually, we have lots of reflexology. I mean, the ears also a
Yes,
reflex
you're
of the whole
reflexology
body. I
too.
mean,
Yes.
so yeah, I mean, you can use whatever feels good for you. I mean, to me, feet were amazing from day one. I
Okay.
remember we used to go
You
to the
like
beach
feet?
with my friends when we were studying. And we didn't look at the bodies anymore. It's like we're looking at everybody's feet.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's really an amazing world.
Yeah, yeah, it
What you
is.
can see in the feet.
And I never knew this, that the
Yeah.
elements were represented in the feet. So this is something new for me. Of course, I knew about the organs represented, but I didn't know about the elements
Mhm.
and the different areas of your
Yeah,
life represented, kind of like in chakras. So chakras represent different areas of your life. So it sounds like similar with the feet also.
it is very similar. It is. I mean, at the end of the day, we all talk about the same thing. We just have
Mm,
different tools, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, we just, we want to see the whole picture. We don't want to see just the illness.
right.
We
Yes,
want to
definitely the
see,
whole picture.
the whole story around the illness, so
Yes,
we can help
yes,
this person to understand what's going on in their
yes,
lives.
yes. And
Otherwise, you are sorry.
in general, what is the purpose of reflexology? Do most people go because of a health condition? Do they go for relaxation, or is it just very individual why people go? What generally are the reasons why people go to a reflexologist?
It is, and it actually lots of people come because their soul is not at ease. People come with, I mean, there are people that come specifically for an illness in their body, and then they start realizing this whole world, and they get deep into whatever is not okay in their souls, in their
Yeah.
hearts, no.
Yes.
But some people come to you because I'm thinking all the time. I want to be at peace. I don't know. There's lots of I am a doula as well, like you were
Yeah.
saying. So I have lots of people that want to get pregnant or
Oh,
that are pregnant.
okay.
I work a lot with menopause.
Yes.
I mean, there's lots of different circumstances why. I mean, the thing is, I do work with reflexology, like I was telling you, like to open the door. But
Yeah.
then afterwards, I I go to wherever the body needs to be touched, because
Okay.
sometimes I need to get into the belly, and I just go inside the belly, and we start working there, or in the head,
Mm.
or in the heart, or whatever really needs to be touched. I mean,
So it
I
may
do
become
I do go back to reflexology several times in the process, but lots of times I do different things as well. It's like,
mm. So you trust your
hmm,
intuition. You intuitively know if the person needs healing in somewhere else, such as in their heart chakra, or if they need a full body massage, etc. You go with what they need. Is that correct?
yeah. We start like drawing this process together, and sometimes I press really hard and I go really deep inside. Sometimes it's just energy. Sometimes it's just holding the person and teaching them to let go. Sometimes I have to hold their arms and just, be there for like an hour so this person
Mm.
can learn to let go.
To trust you, to lean
It,
on you, to relax. Yeah.
yeah,
It's hard
yeah.
for a
So I
lot of
do.
people to relax these days.
It is. It is a big challenge
Yeah.
to
More and more
relax these
stress,
days.
more and more
Mhm,
demands on us.
mhm,
And we feel like we got to go, go,
mhm.
go. We don't have a off button where we can just reset and relax, unfortunately.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's very
Exactly.
important the work
Yeah.
that you're doing to help people to understand holistically what's going on with
Mhm.
them, mind, body, and spirit, to understand different areas of their life, how it may be affecting them, and to give them mindfulness about certain behaviors and patterns which may not be healthy for them. And they may need to try something different, try something new. Very interesting.
Definitely.
Very.
Definitely. It's a well, it's like the name of your show. It's a holistic
Yes. That's why you're on. Yes, because we need
approach.
to learn about everything that's holistic. There's so many different healing modalities, so many different ones.
Yeah. Like I was telling you, at the end of the day, we all speak the same language. I mean, we use different tools, but we all have the same goal, which is to help people to make the best of their lives. Because
Yeah,
I think we all deserve to enjoy life
of course we
and
do.
to see the
Yes, that's
bright
what life is
side
for,
of,
to
of
enjoy it.
that's what life is for. And we unfortunately don't have that sort of education. I mean, we are so
Yeah,
distracted,
yes.
thinking that having things is happiness, or having this perfect life, and life is not
Nothing's
perfect. We're
perfect.
going to
Yes.
go through
Challenges up and
good
down.
times, challenges, up and downs, but we have to enjoy the whole road, however it
Yes.
comes.
Yeah, so
And
this is
that's
perfect because we also want to talk
that.
about transition on your episode today. But before we get there, let's just go in a little bit deeper about some things that you may notice on the feet. So can you say in general what it means if someone has calluses on their feet? What does that say about
Well,
them?
calluses reflect the earth element. So what happens with the elements is that they get into other elements,
Okay.
which is okay. Which is okay. They need to help each other. I mean, you cannot have an earth element without a little bit of water, because if it doesn't have water, nothing is going to grow, right?
Right, right.
But if you have an excess of water in your earth element, in it's also not a good idea, because you're going to have a big mud and nothing is going to grow there either.
Right.
So this communion should be with some sort of a balance, equilibrium.
Yes.
But we humans don't like equilibrium. We like to make a mess of ourselves a little bit,
You like a little
which is
drama.
yeah, and which is okay, because it's the only way we learn,
Yes.
right? We cannot be, I mean, the happy road all the time. It doesn't teach you much. It's
Right.
fun, it's okay, but it doesn't teach you much.
So the
So if you
calluses.
have calluses, and the other part of the feet is the earth element going and taking functions in other elements. And so let's say the fire element is in charge of what you do for a living, what you give to the world. Okay, so if my work it's all about making money,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have lots of calluses here, because I'm always in the balance of, is this good for me money wise or it's not, which is okay. You do have to think about it. I mean, you have to make a living with what you do. You have to
Yes.
pay,
You have to have money to pay bills,
you
etc.
have to have money to eat that. So,
So the fire area,
but
just as a reminder, that's under the toes, correct?
under the toes,
Okay, so
yeah,
if you have calluses under the toes, then that has to do with trying
with
hard
that you
on your
are
career,
making too much effort
too much effort.
on thinking what's going to be worth money, which is okay. But then what happens when you're only into that and you forget your heartbeat, and you forget what makes you say,
Excited,
okay, I'm going to do this
passionate.
today, and
Yes,
passionate. Yeah.
yes,
So some people unfortunately only work for money,
yes.
and
A
they
lot of
don't
them.
enjoy their works. They don't wake up in the morning and say, yay, I'm going to do this today. They
No,
don't,
it's a
oh
chore,
God, Monday
something they have to
again.
do until they can retire. Yeah.
Exactly. And that can be very unfortunate, because you never have this feel of a realization of saying, wow, I've really done this, I'm so
Yeah.
happy with myself. I mean, maybe they're very happy when they get the check at the end of the month. I'm not saying that's not a good thing. I mean, we all need the money, don't get me wrong. But when we only have our minds into that, then we forget to listen to ourselves and to say, maybe I wanted to be an opera singer, and I left it somewhere in my childhood there.
Mm-hmm.
Or an astronaut or whatever. And maybe, and we are not all going to be astronauts or opera singers, but we have to find
Something that
some
gives you
time in
joy.
our lives. Yeah, and some time in our lives. I mean, if I'm not going to be an astronaut, but I'm going to buy myself one of those telescope, and I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, if I'm
So
making money, I can do that, right?
so if you see calluses under the feet, under the toes,
Yeah,
then would you
yeah.
perhaps recommend to your client to have a little bit more fun, to try something new, not to try to be so rigid and perfect, but to try to enjoy life more? Is that something you would recommend?
Definitely. To everyone, calluses or not calluses.
Yes, yes, absolutely, me
but,
too.
but also you have to see which part of the feet the callus is, because
Yes.
in the fire element you also have the heart.
Mm,
So this callus may not only be about work, it could also be about, closing yourself to love, or to be
mm,
able to relate to other people openly. Yeah,
yes.
it's a bit more, you have to
Yes.
really
You
dig
need to know
in to
exactly where it
see
is on
what.
the foot. Another question, what
Same.
about flat feet? What about those who have fallen arches? What does that say about them?
Well, to begin with, really bad uh, back spine, no? The spine really suffers with the flat feet. So, and usually it's a condition you're born with. So
Born with flat
it's
feet? Really?
yeah,
Huh.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
So
okay.
it's inherited. Yeah,
Yes, it can
it's,
be inherited. Uh-huh.
oh, it can be inherited. You can work through it. You can learn a lot about how to hold yourself differently.
Mm,
But usually people that have flat feet have really bad back pains, and have it's a because some conditions come with you from birth.
yes,
No,
yes, they
it's not
do.
only what you've learned. It's
Yes,
not
some
only
things
what
we
you've
get from
learned.
our parents, the good and the bad. Yes, yes.
Exactly. So it's also it's open up the history about how you learn how to walk from
Yes.
your parents.
Yes. I
It's
have seen a number of people who have gotten flat feet later on that they were not born with it. So what about those people? What
yeah.
would you say that means about them or their lives or
Well, remember the arch is the water element.
okay.
So the water element is the way we relate to our emotions. Okay. Um, when you have flat feet, you're probably like stepping too much into your emotions. It means you're like you don't want to see them.
Pushing
You
them
don't
down,
even want to.
not
You're
really
pushing them down.
facing them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, it's very interesting to watch the arch, because most people, what they have is like these lines like this, because it is the digest system, right? So the inability to digest your emotions is going to reflect straight away to the way you digest your food.
Yes. 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 It's all connected. That's part of
So these
shamanism too. Yeah.
constipations are very popular. Um, gas is very popular. That's when you have this skin that's like, it feels like it's apart from the feet,
Oh, kind of
like
elastic.
loose.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, like it's not attached to the foot. It's like,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, wobbly like this.
Okay.
And the thing is that most people, what we do is we feel feeling, and straight away we go to the head and we start to give an explanation of what you're feeling. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm feeling sad because when I was little, my sister grabbed my hair, and my mom,
Right.
instead of defending me, defended
Analyze
her.
it.
And
We analyze
you
it
make a
instead of just
whole
feeling.
history about the, instead
Yes.
of just feeling your sadness, and
Yes.
So digesting your feelings from here is much more difficult than digesting your feelings from the feeling itself, you know. So we do not know how to be really inside our feelings. We straight away we want to rationalize them.
Yes. A lot of people don't know how
So
to
yeah,
be in our bodies, to embody our bodies. We are just in our heads, like you said, just thinking
ex,
our way
ex,
through everything instead of really
ex,
feeling, how do I feel right
exactly,
now? And I found with a lot of
exactly.
my clients, that's unfortunately why they get a chronic illness because they're not listening to the body. They're not listening to the whispers of the body saying something's wrong, something's a little off until it becomes really big. And they're like, okay, now I need to address it. But then so much time has already passed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. So yeah, it's so that's what we do with the feet. It's an opportunity to open up those subjects and to get into what's going on really inside the person, not just the pain itself, but
Yes. And really quickly, what about
everything
toxins?
that surrounds that
Can
pain.
you see the toxins by looking at the
Yeah.
feet, or can you uh, help the person to detox through reflexology?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry, did I cut out? So
Hmm?
I was saying with toxins, can you see on the foot if somebody has a lot of toxins in their body and they need to detox? And can you also help them to detox through reflexology?
Yes. Well, you more than you see, you smell. You have
You can
smelly
smell?
feet. It's
You can
because
smell?
yeah,
So
feet that
the,
smell really strong. Sometimes I had a patient today that her feet smelled like yeast.
oh,
You can smell the yeast. You can smell when somebody smokes. You can smell
yeah,
the. I mean, smell is also a sign of something, right?
yes. And what does the
So
yeast
yeah,
smell symbolize?
the yeast. Well, probably there is, but definitely something going on with the digestion. But usually it's the excess of intaking
Sugar?
flour,
Okay.
flour.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
excess of flour getting inside in the intestinos and
Intestines. Yeah, too much yeast in the body. So from eating
yes.
bread, different carbs, they may be getting the yeast, and then the body
Mm-hmm,
can't quite
mm-hmm,
get rid of it quick enough.
mm-hmm,
So then you smell
mm.
it when they sweat through their feet.
Yes,
Interesting.
yes, yes. The
Interesting.
smell is one of the first signs that you get because it's they take the socks
Yes.
off and
Yes.
so
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
let's get
Thankfully,
into
I'm okay with all that.
That's good. That's good that you are. I know a lot of people would not like the smell of people's feet
Nah,
to touch them if
nah.
they smell. So good for you for being open-minded so you
Yeah.
can help your clients. So let's talk a little bit about transition if we can. So we shared that
Mhm,
you have been a doula for about 20 years. You have
mhm,
been helping your clients with reflexology for about 30 years, and you've been helping women as a doula through their pregnancy, through labor. You've been helping women with menopause, etc. So you've been helping women through a lot of different stages and through a lot of different transitions. And I know this topic is very intriguing for you. So I wanted to chat with you about it today because I know a lot of people are currently going through transitions and it's difficult. It can be a difficult time. So, can you share some of the ways that women can experience transition and why that's difficult for them? And if you have some suggestions about
yeah,
how to make it easier.
yeah. I don't think it's just related to women. No, I think
Yes,
humans have very difficult time with transitions. We don't have
absolutely.
patience.
Yes,
We are so result oriented that
yes,
we want things to be
fast.
okay. Let's next, and
Yes,
we and we don't take the time to really feel what the opportunity is between one thing and the next. Um, we don't take time to really listen to our experiences and be able to learn from what we go through. And this is why we come back with the same condition and again and again. It's because we don't pay attention, and to pay attention demands you to stop and to listen and to make a pause and
Be present.
Be present. Be present. I know we say this so much, the here and now, be present. But are we really doing that? Are we really present on each thing what we do? It's very interesting, for example, in labors, in births. It's the person that has the practice of listening to themselves can have beautiful childbirths because they go one contraction at a time. They're not thinking, when is this going to finish? How many hours do I have in front of me?
Right.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe 4 hours, maybe 14 hours, maybe 2 days. But if you are not in the moment and your mind is already, when is this going to finish? You're not going to have a happy childbirth.
No.
Definitely.
No.
Because you're not present on what's going on.
Exactly.
It's taught me so much to be a doula to myself, and to help people and to be in processes with them. It's because it really doesn't matter the outcome. It matters the now. Who knows the outcome?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, to me, transitions, I don't know why I called it transitions. Maybe it's not the right word, but I think I don't know. I'm confused now.
I think it is the right word. And I think it applies to
But
a lot of different areas in our lives. So like you said, it's not just women, and it's not just those who are going through the childbirth process, and it's not just those who are in menopause. There's so many different areas of our life when we transition, and it can be very hard. And I think part of the reason is that it's not really talked about. We have these pressures from society, and every society is different.
Yes.
But in Western culture, it's all about productivity. It's all about go. It's all about make the money. And it's not about being present. It's not about being open to your spiritual life. So I think that's also why it can be hard for a lot of people, is that they're not connecting to their spirit. They're not connecting to a higher power or their guardian angels or whatever they believe in, their higher self. And they're not often trusting their body. They're not trusting that their body is wise, trusting their intuition is right on. They can trust their decisions that they make. And they have this fear that comes up because the unknown is the future. And they really want something, but often they don't know how to get there. And it may be taking longer than they anticipate.
Definitely. And time, it's a very strange thing. When you are in childbirth, it can be there like 20 hours, 30 hours. And if you are counting the minutes, if you're counting the hours, then it's the long road. It takes forever. When you are really present, with each breath, the other day I don't know if I heard it or I dreamt it or something, but the only thing that you can really do only in the present is to breathe. You cannot breathe in the future. You cannot breathe in the past.
Yes, breathing is very essential. Yes.
It's, so I think it's, I think I've heard it. I must have heard it from somebody, but it just really dawned on me that, yeah, this is why childbirth is such a teaching moment for women, such a learning experience, because it's the only thing you can do is breathe, really. I mean, you can do poses, you can get in the shower, you can dance, everything is, but the only thing you really, really, really can hold on to is your breath. So yeah, I think it's I think that transitions got to do with with really let go of everything, just breathe and look at the situation in the present moment. Know what the outcome is going to be. Know how this is going to be. We don't know. I mean, right now more than ever in this world that we're living in, we really don't know what's going to happen. We never knew, but now it's like very present, right? And we're the climate, the wars, so what can we do? We just can breathe and be present and try to make the best of each moment that we have, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or in 2 hours or in 2 minutes.
And what else can
No,
we
we're
do?
so
Because I know this is so difficult for so many people when you're going through transition. So do you have other tips of what we can do besides breathing? I think breathing is a really good tip because that really grounds you, makes you present, and gives you something actionable to do. Breathe, focus on your breathing, breathe deeply. Very, very important. But I know a lot of people really struggle with this. So one, why is transition so hard for people? And what are some other things that people can do or think about or change their mind about transitions so to make it easier for them?
Yeah, I'm going to give you an example that just came to my mind.
Yeah, please.
It's a very domestic example. But sometimes I don't feel like cooking.
Yeah, we're all
Like
there, I
making
think.
lunch. But sometimes I have to. So I have two choices. I can cook and, be really angry about cooking and do whatever I can with what I have, or I can put music. I can smell all the food that I have in the fridge and start imagining, I mean, even if I don't feel like doing it, if I have to do it, I want it to be fun.
Yes.
Because, I mean, it's up to me to cook, complaining about it or to make the best of it. So,
Right. Good. So I want to play this back and translate what you just said for the audience. So what you just said with your example, that download you just got from cooking, what I got from it is that you want to really have gratitude. So in that moment, have gratitude. How does the food smell? What are the colors? That I even have food to make this meal for myself. Okay, this may not be what I want to do right now, but I have it. So first, having gratitude really helps you. And again, that also puts you in the present. What are you grateful for right now? Not what are you grateful for that happened 10 years ago? Not what will you be grateful for in the future, but right now.
Grateful. And another, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to touch myself to the, I'm
Connect.
sorry, my
That's okay.
my battery is coming
Okay.
down.
Yeah, we want you to stay on screen. So connect.
Yes. I'm going to have to move. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. So I'll keep on talking while you get
I
ready.
am
I'll keep
so
on
sorry.
talking. So what I also got
Okay.
from that, besides gratitude, is that sometimes we may not want to do what we are planning on doing. We think we have to do it all on our own. But sometimes we can say, okay, well, who can I get for support right now? So could, somebody deliver some food for me right now? Could I order some food, get some takeout and go pick it up? Or can, I don't know. So you have other options. And I think oftentimes women, especially, we think we have to do everything on our own, that we have to be the ones to do it all, even though it's a burden, because women often have so many different roles that they're playing. And sometimes we forget to simply ask. And that's what's so beautiful about the work that you do being a doula, is that people have asked for support. They know that they would like support. And then they decide, okay, when is that going to be? Is that going to be during the labor? Do I want reflexology before then? And so that is, I think, a very important part about transition, is asking for help, realizing you don't have to do this all on your own. So I think that's very important.
Exactly. I think part of asking for help is it's to unload the when we share things with people, we are happier.
Yes.
So we unload the having a conversation makes us happy.
Yes, that
No, be with
connection makes us happy because then again, we don't feel
connection.
alone. And I think that's a big
Exactly.
part of transition is that people feel so alone, and that makes it even harder. So if they feel that they don't have support from a spiritual realm, if they feel like they don't have friends or family to help them out, and whatever it is that they're going through, that can make it a lot more difficult. And then it's like the unknown. Well, I don't know how to get to my goal. I don't know how to make it happen, but I really feel the pressure. I need to figure this out and make it happen. But if you invite someone in
Yes.
to help you, then it could just make it easier, or you can feel comforted by the person, etc. Can really open up
Hmm.
some doors, as you were saying before. Hmm.
Yeah, and also knowing that you're not the only one that's going through this, and sometimes we think we are so self-involved that we think that what we're going through, we are the only ones, and nobody understands what we're going through.
Yes.
And hearing and listening to other people saying, listen, this happened to me too, and this is how I dealt with it.
Yeah.
uh, it gives us like some sort of sense of some north, no, some, I don't know, in
Yes.
Spanish we
Yes.
say
North.
gives you north. It's
Yes. It
also
gives
in
you a
English, right?
direction. Yeah. And that's very
Yeah,
important.
it gives, yeah. And to see, I'm sorry that it's moving so much. I had to change places. Um, so yeah, it's and to remember also that we came to this world to enjoy ourselves.
Yes. To think
And
about the
it's
joy.
the joy, it has to be joyful. Even if
Yeah.
it's painful, you have to find the joy. I
Yes.
know it sounds really weird because you can say, well, how can this hurt so much and be joyful? There's always something beautiful going on around whatever crisis we have.
Yes.
I went through a flood. I don't know if you knew
Yes.
that.
Yes, I
Yeah,
know.
when you were
Yeah.
here and
That's when I was
through.
there
So
last. Yeah.
I lost my house, my complete house. The
Oh,
mud came inside the house, and we lost everything.
I'm
It
so
was
sorry.
really,
That's very
yeah,
traumatic. Yeah.
it is. But since day one, after the day of the flood, we had 50 people from our neighborhood coming in with buckets and
Oh,
taking the mud out of our house.
wow. Amazing.
I mean, to me, that was like the two sides of, I mean, you lose everything. I mean, I didn't have an underwear afterwards. I mean, I really had no pair of shoes, nothing. I lost everything.
Mm,
But I had 50 people that knew me from the neighborhood, and they were willing to spend the whole day in my house taking the mud with buckets.
that's beautiful. That
It's
is
like,
amazing.
so every crisis brings you something that, and people brought me clothes and brought me food, and it was almost a party. Okay.
Wow, that's
Something that could have
amazing.
been so you have to be very aware and very open and very grateful for everything that comes with a crisis, because there is something really beautiful that comes with a crisis always. I know it's very hard to see sometimes, especially now.
Yes. But I
It
also
is
want to
very
say
hard.
that there's a lot of different layers here. So when we talk about transition, this can be anything. I mean, I've gone through many transitions, such as moving across country, living abroad, starting my business, having a chronic illness for 15 years, but not all of them are traumatic. So there's a difference between a transition that is traumatic and a transition that's difficult. And I think we should also emphasize the difference to people who are listening, because if you really are in trauma, you really need to get out. If you're in an unhealthy environment, if you're in a toxic, abusive relationship, you need to get out of that. If you
Mhm,
have something
mhm,
that it's immediately affecting your health, you need to take care of your needs, your safety first, before you can find
mhm,
joy, before you can, have a bigger picture and understanding of it. So if it is a big T trauma, of course, you got to take care of you first, get the help that you need. But in many other transitions, yes, we can look for the joy. We can enjoy the process. We can see how amazing lessons are being shown to us that wouldn't have happened otherwise. For you to
Yeah.
see the outpouring of love from your community, to see how much people cared and were willing to help you. I mean, that's beautiful to see.
Yeah, it's a very, what you said is very important. It's transitions can be um, I'm sorry, my daughter
It's
just
okay.
came in.
It's okay.
I'm
If you want
saying
me to
hello.
sit for a second, I'll keep talking.
No,
But
that's
also, I
fine.
want to emphasize the importance of the process. And I think that's what's so
Yeah.
hard for a lot of people is that when they're in transition, they can't immediately go from A to B. It takes a while. Okay. And they have to accept the process. If you don't accept the process, if you're resisting throughout the whole entire time, it's going to be a lot harder. It's going to take a lot longer. And again, it's not going to be enjoyable. So you got to be able to go with the process, go with the flow, and it normally will go up and down, ebb and flow. Again, if it's a big trauma,
Yeah, it's like a
different.
duel, when you're in, when you lose somebody, or when you get divorced, when you, so many reasons why we are in duel. We cannot run to the next step. We cannot rush. We have to go through the whole process to really heal. You have to be really brave and go through each stage. And that's something we don't know how to do in dual, but there's something that we do know how to do in joyful times as well. I mean, we are so rushed. I don't know why. Well, it's this education that we have, right? But
Conditioning,
we it's conditioning, yeah. And we have so much stimulo, so much
stimulus,
how do you say,
stimulus.
stimulus
Yeah,
around us, that
yeah.
we don't have the time to really go slow and to really enjoy
The
every bit of
permission,
what we're,
the
no, it's
permission to go
we
slow. Because again, time is time. So time is always there,
not
even though
even
it's
when
not
we
really tangible. But
even
oftentimes,
in our sexual life, we want the result. We want to get straight to the orgasm, right?
right, right.
A good, no, it's the same in childbirth. We want to see the baby. Yes, we want to see the baby, but how about enjoying the whole childbirth? It's going to be 20 hours, and it can be wonderful and enjoyable. But if you are in the result all the time, this is why C-sections are so popular. No, because it shortens the time to get to what you are supposed to get. But it's, yeah, we've lost the sense of enjoying going slow and really get deep into each part of it. But we have to breathe. And this is, it's a really nice gift that we got from the pandemic, is that breathing is a bless, and it is, it's very important to remember it now that it's gone. The pandemic, we forgot, and we went into rushing again, because in the pandemic we slowed down. We realized that breathing was important, because there were people that were not being able to breathe and
Well,
died.
I think still, Ariela, there's a lot of people that didn't breathe even in the pandemic. Because, of course, there were a lot of people who were doctors and nurses and had high stress. And even those who did not have stress, they had a lot of trauma. They lost loved ones. And it was very hard
Yeah,
being isolated and not being around others who would give them
yeah,
support like they were used to. So I think, unfortunately, a lot of
yeah,
people went through trauma. And as you know, with people who go through trauma, they don't breathe deeply. They are
yeah.
disassociated. They're not connected to their body. And so I think, like you said, now is a good time more than ever for us to really focus on the present, really focus on our breathing, really focus on going inward, getting insight about ourselves and how we can live a holistic lifestyle, how we can improve? How can we can empower ourselves with tools instead of just having someone fix us? I think it's very important. But lastly, I want to say someone
Yeah.
said this recently, wanted to hear if this resonated for you. But in order to get out of transition, we must transform. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes, isn't it? Yes, it really resonated for me
Yes,
too.
it is. It is. It is. Well, there is the opportunity to transform if we really get into be present and to live our transitions with self-respect and respect for everybody else, with not being we're so hard on ourselves sometimes, no?
Yes, we are.
And we're not patient, and we don't lick our wounds like we
Mm.
should.
Mm.
And I think the only real transformation comes from us really looking at ourselves and be nice to ourselves and be respectful, because that's the only way we can be that with other people. So
Yes.
if we don't love ourselves deeply, we cannot love anybody else really deeply,
Yes, we
So
must love
yeah,
ourselves
yeah,
and take care of
we must,
ourselves. Very important. We only get
we
one body in
must.
this lifetime. Take care of it.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Who knows in the next one?
Yeah,
But
who
this
knows?
one is, yeah, who knows?
Yes, yes.
but
But
this,
just to go
yeah,
back to transformation, so just giving an example of a mother giving birth, right? So she goes for transforming her body while she's pregnant, and then she goes through transformation during birth, during labor, right? And she needs to go through that transformation before she can be born as a mother and for her baby to be born. And so it is very important, all of these different stages, so that she can transform. And so that's one of the reasons why you can't just become pregnant and then have the baby the next day. I think it is important that we realize we are transforming and to prepare ourselves mentally, to prepare our body, prepare in so many different ways. So I think that's important. So can you say a little bit more about the clients who you work with and a little bit more about a session? So who are the clients that you work with? I know you work in Lima, Peru. So is everything in person or do you work virtually as well?
well, I did have to learn to work virtually during the pandemic because I couldn't touch people. But now I went back to presentiality, and I only do that for now. I
Okay.
mean, sometimes I work virtually, but very little, to tell you
Okay.
the truth,
Mhm.
because for me, touching is like my main tool. So
Yes. And
touching
also
through
the
the
smell,
screen,
right?
it's a
Gives
bit,
clues.
and also the smell. And yeah, so I see all sorts of people. I mean, people do relate me with pregnancy a lot because I'm a doula, but
Yes.
I also see older people, people with cancer, people with menopause. I see men as well. I don't only work
Hmm.
with women.
Yeah.
I see children sometimes. I
Great.
did see a lot of children after the pandemics because
Mm.
they were very anxious. They went back to school very, very anxious and
Yes.
very afraid of being touched.
Oh,
It
so
was very
sad.
interesting because yeah. So I
Yeah.
was very happy to help them to break that wall that they had with people because
Yes.
they
Yeah. So long being isolated in
they
the beginning of their lives. I cannot imagine how that affected them. Really. I mean,
oof
these have been
oof
difficult
oof
times we've been going through these last few years.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah
But I think,
yeah
again, I just want
yeah
to emphasize that reflexology is safe for pregnant women. So, again, this is very important for women to know because a lot
it
of pregnant women are looking for tools and resources
eh,
and people to help them. So, I just want to star this is safe for pregnant mamas. This is safe for
yeah.
women of all ages. Like you said, menopause, you work with men, you work with children. This is safe for everyone.
It is. It is. It is safe for everyone. With pregnant women, you have to be careful the first trimester not to touch, certain points that are the
Yes.
uterus or. But it's. I mean, if you do know reflexology, you know where not to touch.
Yes. Yes.
and but no, it is safe. I mean, I think pregnant women. do need physical encounter a lot somehow. And, you know, pregnant women, older people, there are people that somehow the society thinks you shouldn't touch because they're too fragile. But more than ever, they need to be touched.
Everyone needs to be touched. It's so
Everybody
important.
needs to be touched.
Yes.
But especially when you go through these big times of your life, you need more encounters than ever, you know.
Yes.
And yeah, people feel like pregnant women are like, if they're going to break, and they're not. You know, when you're pregnant, you're two people walking together, but
yeah, you're with a baby, but you're not fragile. Yes, yes.
but you're the same. You need to be. You need a hug. You need to be kissed. You need to have sex. You need everything like normal. You know.
Yes, yes. Your life isn't on pause. You're just pregnant.
Yes.
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 Well, wonderful to talk with you, Ariela. I hope that this episode was informative for other people. I hope they learned something new. I'm sure they did. How can people get in touch with you to learn more about you and your work?
Well, I am in Facebook and Instagram. Those are the only two media.
Is that under your name, or what is that under?
Under my name, Ariela Waltzer, Ariela Waltzer Terapias in Instagram, and Ariela Waltzer without the terapias in Facebook.
Beautiful. And everything will be below this video in the description. You can click on those links, make it easy for all of you. Okay, beautiful. Great. And again, thank you for today. Thank you for talking about transition. I think this is a very important topic for people. I mean, there's so much trauma and drama and violence going on in the world, and people with chronic illnesses, the numbers are going up these days. So it's very important for people to know what to do during these difficult times, during transition. And I think we hit some important points today to help people to see transition in a little bit different light, and also to see reflexology as a tool to help them. So all of you who are watching today, please give this video a like. If you enjoyed today's episode, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button so that you can watch all of the amazing episodes in this series. This is my passion project. I love to invite guests from all over the world so that you have greater understanding about holistic health and wellness. And if you would like to learn more about me and the work that I do, you can visit my website, www.thedancingcurtain.com. You can learn more about the work that I do. And if you're interested in my book on holistic childbirth around the world, Ariela was one of the experts who I interviewed, and I also interviewed her about her childbirth story as well, or stories as well. You can find out that also by subscribing to my list so that you know when the books launch. They have not launched yet, but you can join me on www.thedancingcurtain.com/gethealthy. You'll get a free gift. You will be reminded about this series. You'll be reminded about the replays and also my new book series. And the book series also will be, like we talked about, letting you know that you're not alone in your pregnancy journey. I talked to over 70 moms and childbirth experts around the world to gather their intimate stories. So you will learn about different chronic illnesses, you will learn about different childbirth experiences, and you will see it in a whole new light. I even talk about taboos. So this will help you as well if that is your journey. So thank you again, Ariela, for being a guest today. And thank all of you for watching Holistic Me TV. Don't forget to subscribe, and hope to see you on the next episode. Bye for now.
Gracias, Khristee.
Hasta luego.